park models, tiny homes, mobile homes, manufactured homes, stick-built homes. Oh my, where do I begin? Where do I begin? Wow, it's been a huge thought process and journey of all the different choices and options we have to go tiny. Now, many of you already know that I just left tiny and I'm a nomad on the road right now, hanging out in the woods. Look at this backdrop. I mean, does it get any better than that? I don't think so. But I'm on this journey now to look for a new tiny home and making decisions, thinking it through, pros and cons. Today's table topic is all of the above. The good, the bad, the indifferent of different styles and choices for a tiny home. So I hope you'll join me. Serene and Simple Life peeps, thanks for being here. It is a glorious day in the neighborhood here at my campsite, which I will be telling you a little bit more about in upcoming videos. Up until now, I was doing my land search and considerations and due diligence period and God's validation. I hope you have enjoyed, or you will go back and watch those. Check out the playlists if you can't find them. But now we are on to a new topic, and that is the type of home that I am going to put on my land. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I can't tell you how long, probably since I put my home up for sale, even before. No, since I put it up for sale, that I was going to absolutely rebuild the exact type of tiny home I had, built by the Mennonites in Tennessee. And I was just going to keep it simple. You know, if it's not broken, don't fix it. I was going to do a few little tweaks, like maybe a little bigger porch, no loft, both pocket doors instead of one sliding door, because that was a mistake, you know, that got fixed. And pretty much keep it the same. Maybe a different kind of appliances. I don't know, instead of a white refrigerator, you know, maybe it was going to go with the platinum or whatever you call those. But I was going to rebuild the exact type of home. Well, planning and zoning had to get involved. As I did in a previous video, you've got to find out what you can put on your land. Well, come to find out, you know, and I spoke state, but normally it's county to county, that you have to find out what you're allowed to do with your land in this world of freedom that we live in, right? Long story short, I come to find out that you are not allowed to put a park model in the county where I'm going to be living. A park model. Now, many of you know park models, they look as good, if not better, than a mobile home. My realtor said if I had not told him, he thought I was living in a manufactured home. Now, there's a little difference between mobile home and manufactured. Manufactured I guess they bring it in parts. Now, I've lived in 2 mobile homes in Arizona and raising my children as a single mom, some of the best times of our life. And then I also had a bigger manufactured 3-bedroom home in Delaware. But anyways, that's a different story, a different day. I don't want to bunny trail that too much. But really, my park model with the hardy board, you couldn't tell, you know, that it wasn't on a foundation. Nope, it has to be HUD certified mobile home or built to the state code. Now, I'm still considering if I'm going to announce what state I'm in. I asked in a previous video if you would share your comments, what you think. If you take it out of the personal realm where you would like to know, and for safety's sake, you know, dare I mention the state? I'm leaning towards yes, and let the chips fall where they may, as God takes care of me, but I'm not 100% certain. So for now, we'll just say state code. Wow. And this was after I had put in an offer and it was accepted. So that's part of the due diligence that I really didn't cover too much because I wanted to save it for today, is that you can find out after you buy your land what's allowed to be put on your property. Now, you would think you would do that beforehand, but I was like, you know what, this is unrestricted, any size of home, but now we're down to type of home. So I was like, all right, I got to throw that out. I've got to rework this in my brain. I've got to let it go, let it go. I can't fight it. I can't change it. The county did say that they are considering park models, and I asked her, if you had a crystal ball, how long do you think? Is it going to be months, years, 10 years? She said 10 years. Like, she didn't even think about it. It's like 10 years from now, park models. And the difference is park models are registered with the DMV. HUD certified homes are registered with the state. So there you have it. That's in a nutshell. Linda will not be getting a new park model home like she had. I also called the builder in Tennessee and I said, can you build to HUD? And they're like, no, we're not certified to build in that state. And no, we're not. No, they build cabins, I think, to HUD, but they won't move them that far. So gotta let it go, gotta let it go. So now I'm deciding, okay, so now I'm like, okay, I'll go for a stick built. And will I put it on a foundation? Will I put it on blocks? You know, I'll share that with you a little bit later, because that would be another bunny trail with when I make my decision, what I decide to do. But I decided to get busy while I was at the hotel and start making calls to general contractors. You know, they can build all over the state, and then residential contractors, they have to build within the county. Learning curve. Now, I apologize again for not sharing with you why I was at that hotel. I was at that hotel because I was also looking at mobile home dealers, and they offered me a free night stay because I had traveled quite a distance to theirs with no obligation to buy. Now, they would pay for my meals, which was that Chinese meal, and I forget the restaurant, and they would pay for my gas. Keep the receipts if I bought from them. She gave me a self-addressed stamped envelope, and she would reimburse me if I bought from them, not in addition to the free night stay. Okay, so the free night stay was no strings attached, just because I had come and was serious about a particular model that they had. So it was an innocent mistake. I apologize. It wasn't supposed to be like this cliffhanger that you had to watch all the way to the end, although I often encourage you to watch the entire video, because I do put in bits and pieces of different things. And I know you have a life besides Linda's Serene and Simple Life, but at the same time, I'm only doing 2 videos a week that are a half an hour or less, And I'm also doing 2 shorts on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I post those at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The Friday and Saturday are at 2 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm keeping it consistent now for the next several months, and it's been going pretty well. I appreciate you subscribing, clicking the bell, and especially giving me a thumbs up, making comments, positive comments. If you've watched the entire video and you have a question, that's great. Sometimes I'm going to refer you back to the video if you ask a question that I have covered within the video. Like, there's no sense in doing videos if I'm just going to ask questions, if people are just going to ask questions, right? I know I need to get on to lives and do a question and answer time. That would be cool too. That's in the future. So my first thought was stick built. Let's see what the prices are. You know, let's just go out and see what the prices are. Again, just like the land, I have a budget. I want to pay cash. I don't want to go into debt. And I'm going to be pinching pennies. So stay tuned for some more things that I'm doing as I'm pinching pennies to now save for this new tiny home. Definitely still want tiny. That is where my brain is. My brain has probably been tiny my entire life, and now just figuring it out at 65. Okay, so I called probably 8 different contractors, had long conversations with 3 or 4. A couple came back right away and said that they were $200 a square foot to build. Well, that knocked me right out of the ballpark right there. So we didn't even go any further because I can't afford $200 a square foot. Crazy, huh? Anyways, so they say, you know, normally a rule of thumb is like get 3 quotes. Well, I narrowed it down to 2 people that I started really having conversations with in the land of sticks and bricks, or, you know, stick built. Come to find, and I will share this in an upcoming video about what I decide to go with. You're going to have to stay tuned, and like I said, you're going to have to click the bell for updates so you don't get lost on this journey. I'm not going to share with you today what I decided on. You just have to keep watching. It's not going to be but another week or so where I reveal what I decided upon. And I do want you to put in the comments, what do you think I'm going to go with? A mobile home, or am I going to go with stick built on a foundation? I would just love to hear what you think after watching this video of my pros and cons. I'll give you a little more information. So I met the one contractor, back to him, and it was confusing. You know, some negative things, some back and forth, maybe a little too much. And again, I think I told you, I met him in person. I think I just said that. He sent me some rough quotes, and he just wasn't sure. And I come to find out that I don't think he could build in the county that I was going to be living in anyways. So I don't know what that was all about. He was residential, not a general contractor. He was going for his general, but he couldn't build anywhere, and he never told me that. Lovely Christian man. So I really appreciated his time, but I moved on to another second builder that I was calling at the same time. I sat for 3 or 4 hours in that hotel lobby the next day. I asked them if I could sit there. There was nobody around all day, and I made all these calls while it was like 85, 90 degrees outside. And so I talked to this second builder, veteran owned, really liked him. He sent me a quote, took like a week and a half or 2 weeks, and it was super high. And here he come to tell me that he had not changed the square footage parameters within his program, and so he had to redo it. And he sent me several quotes, and so I was really considering him. I was really getting down to the nitty-gritty of the build and what kind of different things that they use for the exterior, the interior. You know, I told him I didn't have $3,000 or $4,000 to play around with, and I was really on a tight budget. You know, in the world of paying cash. You either have an abundance of cash and it doesn't matter how much something costs, or you're on a strict budget and it really, really matters. Well, I'm the latter. Okay, so then I looked into, I said, I still need a third person. And I made some more calls, a couple people, they dropped the ball. They were gonna get back with me. And I looked at a third company, and then it dawned on me, Linda, this is really more than you can afford, a sticks and bricks on a foundation. This is getting really tough. So you need to open up your world to mobile homes. Mobile homes are not what they were back in the day. You know, I was in a 1970s mobile home, maybe, back when I was raising my children, 12 foot wide, 72 foot long, with the, you know, the panels with the strips. I had those all removed in another mobile home that I did in Arizona. It's just my taste, you know, nothing against anybody's mobile home that you're living in. It's all about decorating. Sometimes you don't even notice those, but for me, being a visual, I pretty much, I notice everything. At least I think I do. Sometimes I miss stuff, but so I'm like, okay, let's go the mobile home route. Well, probably I would say at least 12 companies, if not more, within 2 states. I was looking at mobile homes. And I narrowed that down to 2 mobile homes and really got down to the nitty gritty. You know, it's not just the mobile home cost, but it's the setup, it's the steps, it's putting in the HVAC. I was like, well, maybe I can live without AC for a year. You know, trying to cut corners here, there, and everywhere. And I was like, mobile home, stick built, mobile home, stick built, just not sure. And definitely the place that put me up in the hotel, complimentary, no strings attached. I had even called her back a second time, and still waiting to share with you what I decide. I was really, have been considering that company, and then something a little closer to where I live. Just didn't know, moving it in, strapping it down. There's a basic requirement that at least you can't just sit on the lot for more than a month. And I didn't realize all those extra things. I was like, well, maybe I can deal without steps for a while, just get a temporary set of steps. And just really, I called about 10 different people on a list of licensed and insured people that set up mobile homes. And that came down to one person that I really, really liked, and he gave me a good price on setting up the mobile home, and I was getting closer and closer and closer to my budget. So with no further ado now, we're gonna go into, because I know this is getting a little bit long and I have a list here to keep it in order, the pros and cons of a mobile home versus stick built. So first of all, we will go with the mobile home. Here's another list. I'm a list maker. The simplicity of a mobile home. I would be able to move in 4 to 6 weeks rather than 4 to 6 months. So that was attractive. All I would need to do is select the color of the mobile home, which is like 2 or 3, select the countertop color, and select the wall color. That's it. Simple. I would have 1 bedroom for a craft or a guest room. For you and family to come, which was very cool. I really was adamant, no bedroom, no bedroom, no bedroom. And then God showed me a 1 bedroom would be a good idea. So stay tuned, stay tuned. And I could make it cute, like I could make it my own, more, less, the overall look is kind of really, so standard in a mobile home, that I could add a porch, a fountain, landscaping, a fence. Of course, money, 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 money. Do I have that kind of money? Not really, but I could make it cute and just keep building on it. I think the sun is getting a little crazy on me. We'll just move over here. Dum, da, da. There we go. And let me see, that's okay. It would be done, simplicity, make it cute. And I could move the home. You know, if land prices go down and I decide I want to go somewhere else, not thinking like that, I'm just saying. I always keep my options open. Remember, I might get married and move to Hawaii. Remember I told you that? Just saying. This is crazy. I'm gonna go back here a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. I have to go forward, otherwise I get in the glare. And so I could move it, I could save, I could relocate, you know, maybe another landing zone somewhere else. I'm not thinking like that though, so scratch that. The appliances would be included. That's huge. A refrigerator, microwave, stove. And, you know, the overall look, with it fits in with fun and new. I love new. Those of you who've been watching me a while, anything that says new on it, I love it. Like I would get upgraded sheetrock walls instead of that board and batten or whatever you call it. And to tell you the truth, well, keep watching here. I'm going to share with you what the jury's still out with. Now, the cons would be that I was limited with layouts for a one bedroom. One bedrooms are far and few between. I found two bedrooms that are less expensive than a one bedroom because people just don't look for one bedroom mobile homes. It is what it is. And so I was like, 2 bedrooms, long, I don't care for that look. I was like, no, did it, done it, been there. We had 3 bedrooms with my children, and I was like, I don't really want that 72 foot or 65 foot or whatever. Just my personal preference. And the depreciation of a mobile home. Now, the jury's still out on that. Even my realtor said, you know, it's because a lot of mobile homeowners, I don't know, start to not take care of them. You know, I didn't do the best job taking care of my mobile home on the outside of my old mobile home in the 70s. And they just wear. And, but you can upgrade them and you can, you know, keep them at that appreciation level, you know, change the skirting, paint them, I guess, all kinds of different things you can do, landscaping to upgrade. But for me, depreciation, probably that I wouldn't be doing this super upgrade, you know, it's a money thing. And the cookie cutter feel, no personal touch or feel. Again, it would cost money to, you know, do the fence, do the porch, do the fountain, all those landscaping things. And right out of the gate, you know, did I want a cookie cutter feel? Just wasn't sure. You'll have to stay tuned, you know, because there's a lot of pluses about a mobile home. And the dollars for the setup, that was like, wow. Someone told me it's like an extra $10,000 for setup, that you should budget that. Just like if you have to put in utilities, you budget anywhere from 10 to 20,000 for utilities. And that's where my budget was with land. You know, I was good with a certain land price, but if I had to put utilities in, I had to know that I said 15,000, at least had 15 extra. And I couldn't, you know, go beyond a certain number. So that's it for mobile homes. Now, the pros and cons of a stick-built. Well, the stick-built, my pros, increase in value, custom, more opportunities to make unique to my desires, you know, kind of to emulate the tiny cabin that I had, the park model, and size. You know, I could get a different size. I wouldn't have to get the long 60 foot, 65 foot, you know, a standard. Or, you know, to save money, get 2 bedrooms. Because 2 bedrooms in a home makes me personal, lost and lonely. I know you can have one as a guest room, you can have one as a craft room, or 2 guest rooms. I understand that. But the thoughts of coming in every day on a regular daily basis with that extra room just sitting there, did it, done it in Delaware. I thought I was going to turn one of my bedrooms into a nursery. That never happened. Didn't have the company that I thought I was going to have. So here I am in a 3-bedroom in Delaware, and that speaks lonely to me. So I don't care for an extra bedroom. I don't want to go, you know, when I come in at night, this is a bunny trail, you know, or during the day, oh, just check the rooms, you know, check the rooms. Like, that's kind of from back in the day. That just sticks in my head, even though I don't think there's the boogeyman hiding in there, but you kind of just walk through your house and, okay, nobody here, nobody here. I know that's a little silly, but those are the pros: the increase in value, especially the custom and the size. And then the cons are cost. Now remember, I just told you I've been considering 2 builders and then on to a 3rd. I will talk about in another video. And the time to build it, you know, is 4 to 6 months versus being in quicker. Not that I'm in a hurry, but it is the heat of the summer, and to be able to be in a location where I don't have to be moving around and worrying about the heat, that would be cool. And then the size. But then the cons are the cost, like I just said, the time to build. I was going back, I'm sorry. And trust, you know, trust that it will all be built to code. That trust factor, especially when I was talking to a couple different builders, were like, you know, HUD certified or built to code, and like, we built to code, and I'm like, you know, it's just felt a little, but I know that when you pull permits and then people come out and inspect, it's going to be built to code, so it wasn't really something I had to worry about in the long run. You know what? And this is what I wanted you to keep watching. The jury is still out on the cost and the savings between a mobile home and a stick built. The manufacturer direct, or the dealers I went to, they were anywhere from $53,000 to $127,000 for a 1-bedroom. Mobile homes have skyrocketed. That's all I'm going to say about that. Unbelievable. People were telling me 2 years ago they were 1/3 to 1/2 that price. I don't even want to think about it. So that is where the jury is still out. You know, I've narrowed my conversations with builders to 3. I did look at tiny home builders, forgot to mention that. But that was phone conversations, and most of them were park models. So I'm like, no, we can't do park model. And tiny homes are in that 80, 100, 150,000. You know, I had neighbors in the community in Georgia, 129,000. My neighbor next door on the left of me, 159,000. I would still love to do her a tour of her home at some point. She's like the Taj Mahal of tiny homes. 159,000, something like that. I don't know. That was just a little, they didn't say that. It was just something that was said. And I also looked, the title company lady gave me a neighbor of hers that was in an adorable, pristine type home. And I was like, wow, that's exactly what I want. Well, it was the weekend or before the weekend, and I made 11 calls to find out who built that tiny home, who brought it in. That's exactly what I wanted. I had one of my builders, my potential builders, go over and look at it, say this is what I want. It was clean lines, pristine, cottage, real cottage looking. I go between a cabin and a cottage, cabin cottage. I like both. You know, they both have a little different appeal to them. They can't really run them together. Well, I think I come to find out that it was actually a park model, and she had to jump through many, 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 many hoops to get it built to code. So, wow. It was a journey. I had pages and pages and pages of conversations and thoughts. You know, a Christian builder, a veteran builder, this other company, and then the mobile homes. You know, feeling a little sense of obligation to the person who gave me that beautiful night's stay. What to do, what to do. Well, I did make a decision, and I can't wait to share it with you, the decision I made, and you know, why I made the decision. It's you know, it's just so fun. And I am going to share that with you here shortly. And remember, next month is going to be about where I'm at and what I'm doing here in the woods. And then we will go back to the property and I will be doing a build series. And I'm looking for that to probably be in October. That's going to be pretty much in real time as I either, you know, bring in a mobile home or I get a contractor to build. You'll just have to stay tuned, guys. I am going to share with you my decision. Now remember, put in the comments, what do you think I'm going for? Am I going for a mobile home or am I going for a stick built? You can put MH or SB if you want. And that's exciting. So with that, we're all done babbling for today on the pros and cons, the ins and outs, and why I am not rebuilding like Stepping Stone Retreat. Blessings in your day. Joy in the woods and joy in your journey.